Binge the full week of The Ray Taylor Show ad-free over at inspireddisorder.com/plus.
This is The Ray Taylor Show.
RRR is the movie I am talking about in the best way. This movie is an epic action bromance at a level that has never existed in humanity until this movie. This is a movie that I was heard was going to be reviewed on one of my favorite podcasts, so I decided to add it to my list of movies to watch for the week, to review. And let me tell you, I have never made a better decision in my life than to check out this film, despite the fact that this film has a runtime of over 3 hours, 3 hours and 7 minutes, which I am not a fan of movies that are over 2 hours most of the time, but there are exceptions. If it's done well, it can work out. This movie has so much action, so much bromance, so much over-the-top excitement. The story is great. At no point did I feel bored. I did pause the movie a couple times to, like make food, get a snack, things like that. There were breaks that were had during the runtime of this movie, but at no point was I bored. I was on the edge of my seat for the majority of this epic movie. It is currently streaming on Netflix. I would recommend checking it out, especially before I talk about it. And it's also a movie that I recommended to the most people, a weird cross-section of people, which I don't necessarily reach out to recommend movies to people in general. I kind of allow the fact that I'm reviewing a movie to kind of be the recommendation. But this one, I reached out to MMA fighters, comedians, ex-girlfriends. I reached out to like a wide swath of people, telling them they must watch this movie. And one of the crazy aspects of this movie that was also part of a movie I reviewed earlier in the week, Everything Everywhere All at Once, both of those movies, this movie and that, have a moment that is very similar. In both movies, there is a moment where an adult character is riding on the shoulders of another adult character. And when that moment happens in both of these movies, I got choked up, I was feeling emotional, but I was also laughing. Like, it was literal combination of laughter and being choked up emotionally from like just being so entrenched in both of these movies. It is amazing that two movies that I watched this week had the exact same gave me the exact same feeling, reaction to an adult riding on the shoulders of another adult. So for that reason alone, everybody should check this movie out. Also, this movie has probably the most bromancy bromance of all bromances ever to bromance in any movie to ever feature bromance. It is amazing. This movie is amazing. It is an action movie that has the heart of a rom-com. Not even a rom-com, just a straight-up romance merged with action. And in the most heterosexual romance, platonic romance, I guess platonic, whatever. Amazing. This movie starts out, brutal opening, right, where these rich colonials basically buy this young girl. This takes place in India. Buys this young girl who can sing and paints like henna designs on people's, I don't know if it's henna, but she paints like these designs on people's hands and she sings while she does it. And there's a bit of confusion. These white rich people throw some shillings down on the ground. The people of that village think that they're paying for the artwork and the singing that the girl did. Little to know that that's actually them paying for the girl to own the girl and take her home. And as they leave, the mom is like, no, no, don't take. She runs after him to stop. She gets her in front of the car, and these heartless people get out, and one of the guards goes up to shoot her, and the guy comes up, and it's this running theme where he holds up a bullet, and he's talking about the worth of a bullet. It's like it takes this much to make this bullet, but then this bullet is transported on a ship across the seas and all of these things. So by the time this bullet gets to your gun, it is worth this much, and this bullet's worth is worth more than the life of this person. So you need to find another way to do the job without using this bullet, right? And it's that kind of the worth of a bullet is like this theme that kind of goes through this entire movie. Kind of brutal, right? Brutal way to not only just completely devalue these people, but also how he chooses the alternate way of getting rid of this woman from in front of this car is just picking up a log and smashing it in her face. Right? Brutal start to a movie, right? These white colonialists just buy this girl, smash her mom's head in with a log, and then drive off. So part of this, there's these two superhuman guys. One of these superhuman guys is like the kind of like a brother to that little girl, right? He's like the number one superhero guy of that village. And then there's another superhero guy, right? The other superhero guy is part of, like, the system. He's one of the, like, soldiers or, like, police officers or whatever. You know, clearly Indian, right? He's, like, the only Indian in the thing. And he's, like, a super cop kind of a thing. There's a scene where there's this giant mob outside of some fort. And one of the guys who's in charge of the fort like directs these cops to go, like there's a guy out in the mob that like threw something and broke this thing, and he's like, you need to go out there and you need to get him. And there's this crazy scene where this super cop guy goes out into the mob and is somehow able to survive beating off this mob of people as he gets this guy and brings him back. Like in the most epic way. Like everything is over the top, over the top. If this movie starts at 11, which I think it does, it only goes up from 11. Like, it is insane how over the top this movie is. Obviously, I'm going to spoil aspects of this. But these are like, it's amazing action scenes. Seeing this super cop guy go through this mob with just a baton and somehow gets to the guy he's trying to get and brings him back. It, like, really sets the tone. If seeing the woman's head get bashed in with which you don't really see it bashed in, but you see her get knocked out with this log. Like, if that didn't kind of set the tone, this definitely sets the tone with what type of action you're about to see. And he gets the guy, and it's followed up by the other guy who's part of the tribe, not tribe, but village that girl was purchased from. And it's him, like, outrunning a tiger. And all the animals, like, there's a big disclaimer at the beginning of this movie where it, like, goes through all the different animals that are CG to make sure everybody knows who's watching this movie that animals were not harmed in the making of this movie, that all these animals, like a long list of all these types of animals are CG, which is obvious if you watch the movie. CG animals, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, this movie is over the top. So I can easily overlook animals that clearly look CG. But he's like running through this jungle, and it's like a lion chasing after him. And it's like this big elaborate thing to try and trap the lion. And it's like both of these scenes really kind of illustrate how superhuman these two different guys are, right? Equal but opposites, right? You got the guy who's working for the man, and then you have the guy who's working for the people. Both Indian, both jacked, both have superhuman abilities, right? They're both like Herculeses, each of them.
And now a quick word from our sponsor. Now you can wear the many faces. Original art by Ray Taylor. Select pieces from the ongoing series of abstract ink paintings. All products made with high quality materials, made right here in the USA. Go to inspireddisorder.com/TMF merch to browse the entire collection and save yourself an extra 10% when you check out by using coupon code RTS. TMF. So once again, go to inspireddisorder.com/TMF merch and save 10% when you use coupon code RTSTMF. And now, back to our show.
And both of these guys meet in like the most bromancy meet cute that you could think of, where there's like a kid in the river and a train that's been caught on fire is about to fall and crush this kid. And one of the guys is on top of the bridge, the other guy's on the bank of the river, and they're so far away, but they see each other. They're able to spot another superhuman guy. Meanwhile, the cop guy is after the other guy, right? It's already set up that like the other guy's trying to find this girl that was purchased, and that other guy is like trying to find him because he's this big threat. So they don't know that they're like the Batman to Joker type of relationship, right? And they see each other and they're like, yeah, let's do this thing. Let's save this kid, bro. Let's save this kid. And we're going to do it in the most badass, epic way, bro. Right? That's the communication they have through their eye contact for like the vast distance they are from each other. And there's this epic kind of like they save the kid, followed by the most over-the-top montage of these two dudes just falling in love with each other in the most platonic way. While there's a song playing in the background, obviously this is in Hindi. I'm reading subtitles. They have the lyrics for the songs and subtitles, which is great because the song that's playing over this montage of these two guys broing out after they realize that they're like, oh, we're both super bros. Let's hang out. It's like, oh, these guys don't know that they're enemies. What will happen when they find out they're enemies? You know, that's not the actual song, but that's kind of the gist of the song. And you're watching it and you're like, oh, you know, because you know that the guy that's working for the man is after this other guy. And he doesn't know that his buddy is the guy he's looking for, right? It's like Batman off the clock hanging out with the Joker off the clock. Like they're both not wearing their makeup. They're both not in their outfits. They're just hanging out. They just become like bestest of friends, right? These two jacked superhuman dudes. And it's them like this. It's like this hilarious type of a montage of them broing out together, which is the best. And then they go to this dance party, right? They're each other's wingman, right? One of the guy, the man, right? And the other guy doesn't know he's a cop. Like they don't know their secret identities. The cop guy has like a girl back home, right? And he opens up about him. And this other guy, the guy from the village, kind of gets a crush on this white girl that's part of the, you know, imperialist people that are there that are kind of taking over the place, right? And he's a wingman. He sets up a thing. He gets invited to a party. There's this like epic dance off at the party where it's like everybody's racist, right? They're the only two brown guys at this like party at this giant castle. And one of the dudes is being racist and tries to make the other guy look clumsy and stupid to make fun of him, but turns into like this dance battle, like this endurance dance battle that is amazing. It's like this amazing dance battle that happens. This tray falls over, a dude falls down, tray falls over, slow motion, this tray just rolling forever. And it's like, oh no. Turns into this dance battle that is amazing. And the dude from the village wins the dance battle. Almost kind of like showing his hand. It's like, oh, by the way, I got this. And afterwards, he's like giving him a piggyback ride because his legs are dead. It's not the scene where he's riding on his shoulders. Not yet. I mean, this is a bromance on steroids in so many ways. So then he finds out that this castle, right, that the party's at is where his sister is being kept. So he's got to make this plan to do it. And he's not telling his friend because he doesn't want to involve his friend. He still doesn't know that that guy is part of the police that are, made to protect that castle. And there's this epic set piece where he's trying to rescue this girl. This, like, amazing scene where they go in, like, they got this truck, and they're just going in, and the truck, like, makes a hard turn. The cover goes off the back of the truck, and in slow-mo, in the most epic and beautiful slow-mo, you have one of our superhero guys from the village. You have him just slow-mo jumping off the side of the truck. All of these animals that were caged up on the truck are let free. All these lions and tigers and all these vicious predators jump out along with him. And it's like this crazy mayhem that happens. Big battle. Big battle. They find out, this is where he finds out that his buddy is working for the man. And he's heartbroken. Right? Like, the fact that they set up this bromance in such a way makes it, when he finds out that his dude is working for the man, it breaks his heart. And it's like the symbolism, one of these guys is like fire, the other guy is water. There's literally a scene where, like, the man, the dude that's working for the man, like, there's fireworks and things going off behind him, like, representing fire. You're seeing sparks and things exploding. And then behind the other guy, the guy from the village, there's this fountain that exploded, and there's these hoses from the fountain that are just shooting water in a similar pattern that the fireworks are doing for the other guy. It's like this beautiful contrast of water versus fire. Like, there's so many aspects of this movie that are, like, so beautiful. Like, they're so on the nose. Like, they're so on the nose, it beats your nose through your skull to the other side of your head. That's how on the nose so much of this symbolism is in this movie. But it is the best. It works so well. Like, it is so on the nose. It is like on steroids, just like these two guys are. It is superhuman on the nose. And that it's just like, it's gorgeous. Like, the fight's gorgeous. I mean, the action is over the top. But then you see, the slow motion thing of the water behind one guy and the fire behind the other guy. And you know, like, the pain that guy is feeling. Like, I just got betrayed by my boy. And the other guy's not willing to, like, he is going to succeed in his mission. And then there's, like, this intermission type of a thing. It goes black. Like, there's this kind of cut scene where it's like, one of the guys is, like, they're, like, hanging off of a balcony on a rope thing, and the other guy's got the other end of it, and it cuts to, like, almost this, like, cut scene almost. It goes to black. It's like an intermission halfway through this movie. And then we go to a flashback that kind of gives context for the dude that's the super cop. Like, why is he there? Like, why is he the only Indian guy that's working for these imperial? Why is he an imperial guard? Why did he, like, betray his best bro? Why did he do that? And you're going to see the flashback of this guy of the why. And you see him as a kid, how he's, like, defending his village, and it gets attacked by the colonials and all this stuff, and his dad training him to shoot. And there's a similar thing of, like, what's the worth of a bullet? There's this load, aim, shoot thing that his dad, kind of pounds into everybody's head. There's this epic scene where it's like they're being attacked, but he's able to fend them off. It's great. This flashback scene is great. Sets up, makes it like his whole thing is he's going to work for the man in order to get guns to arm all of his people in order to fight back. And it is a long game. This dude has been doing this, trying to infiltrate and get access to these guns for 15 years. So that's why he's not just going to give it up for his bro. Because they are, in a lot of ways, on the same mission. They're both trying to take down these imperialists.
Join Inspired Disorder Plus today. Head on over to inspireddisorder.com/plus to join. Membership includes members-only discounts and deals. You get access to the Ray Taylor Show completely ad-free, as well as bonus episodes. You get access to the complete live painting archive. You also get access to every single podcast ever produced by Inspired Disorder, hosted by Ray Taylor. You get access to Ray Taylor's personal blog, as well as the opportunity to ask me any questions. So if you want to start a podcast, you're into art, ask me anything. And so many more things are being added every day to Inspired Disorder Plus. So sign up today, become a member, head on over to inspireddisorder.com/plus and become an Inspired Disorder Plus member today.
So it gives context to why he's doing that thing, why he gave it up. And there's scenes where it's like he feels bad that he just betrayed his bro. They both feel bad. Because one guy got betrayed and the other guy can't tell him that he knows. And then there's this, so then the guy from the village is now a prisoner, and the guy, his bro, now has to punish him publicly. Like the people who are in charge, the wife of the guy in charge is so bloodthirsty. Like, she is what I imagine every Republican wife, right? Like Mitch McConnell's wife or Clarence Thomas's wife, just so bloodthirsty for revenge. I need to see a pool of blood when you whip this guy. He's going to be whipped publicly, and he has to confess his crimes and kneel before the king or whatever. Of course, he refuses to do it. He draws strength from singing a song, inspiring the people that are watched to revolt. Amazing scene. Super bloody, super graphic, brutal. Like everything, like I said, turned up to 11 plus. So he never gives up, and then they're like, okay, we're going to execute him. And in this, he's realize he needs to help break him out. So he changes where the execution's going to happen. He rigs the guns that all the guards are going to have. He is planning on his own a way to break his bro out. Right? And his bro still doesn't know. He still feels betrayed. He's like, fuck you, dude. And another amazing action set piece when it comes down to it, and he helps him escape. He not only helps his bro escape, but he helps his bro escape with his sister that he was trying to save. Right? And he still doesn't know that he set it up for him to escape. Just so amazing. And then cut to down the road, after he escapes, they're trying to survive and avoid being captured. He finds out, he runs into his bro's girl unknowingly, and she kind of tells him, it's like, oh yeah, my husband's been for 15 years has been trying to do this thing to get guns, kind of explaining his side of the story. And then the dude sees the necklace that has the other half of the charm that the dude wears, and he's like, oh, my bro trying to save me. There's every kind of revelation of the broness of this is amazing. And he's like, oh, I promise I'm going to bring your man back. I'm going to bring my bro, your man, back safe. And then there's the thing where he goes now to save his bro, who's now been tortured and stuff because he helped him escape. And he goes, and the dude's in an underground, solitary confinement, just a small little hole in the ground with a door on top. And he's pounding on the ground to find where he is. And he finally, when he finds him, he rips the door off, just off the hinges, just, you know, Herculean strength, grabs the dude, flings him up. And when he lands on his shoulders, I almost burst out in tears as I was also laughing. It is that moment where I'm like, holy shit, I am watching for the second time this week a movie that is, one, an epic movie. Everything Everywhere All at Once is an epic movie, very different than this one, but very epic in its own way. But also has a scene where an adult is riding on the shoulders of another adult, and I am simultaneously about to cry while also laughing at how ridiculous it is. Two scenes, same reactions emotionally in two movies that are both over 2 hours long. It is insane. And I'm like, my mind is blown when I see him land on his shoulders. And then there's this whole action sequence of him getting out of there with his dude, with his bro on his shoulders. And it is amazing. It is epic. Watching this ridiculous thing with these dudes, one on top of the other. It is crazy. And this movie ends with like a great battle that starts at night and drags on to the morning. Dude using bow and arrow. Other dude using a motorcycle as a weapon. It's amazing. The line, load, aim, shoot, happens again. And I like see this line coming. It like everything's set up, right? He's got one bullet. He's going to use that bullet to end it all. And it's like, oh, I see I see it coming. And like as he's saying the line, I'm like, load, aim, shoot. And it happens. I'm like, yeah. Like I am so broing out with these bros as they're brotastically broing all over the monarchy. Amazing. Again, the worth of a bullet. These repeated things throughout, it's like so perfect. Like one of the most perfect like action movies that has like crazy bro love in it. Like you can't like explain this movie to somebody and it doesn't work on paper. You have to experience this movie. Like, and that's why while I was watching this movie, I was like, I have to tell people about this movie. And like, I'm thinking of people that would appreciate it. It's like, oh, this MMA fighter would for sure appreciate it. I mean, it's crazy action, but also like the bromance stuff is what? It's amazing. And it's like, oh, this comedian, yes, he needs to watch this as well. Go. This ex, she's super into comic books. This is like one of the greatest comic book stories that's not a comic book. These guys are like superheroes. And it's like funny. Like if you like comedy, if you like action, oh my God. And the story's good. Like you're so invested not only in their bromance, but like finding justice, just killing these, you know, getting these imperialist dictators off of your back is like, yes! So crazy. And of course it ends, you know, these guys succeed. Like it's a movie where it's like it has the happy ending. And ends with a great song. Great song and dance number. And the music is great. I like the music. There's some like really interesting songs in this movie as well. But yeah, like I was just like blown away. My mind was constantly being exploded as if it were full of dynamite and this movie was staring at me with a gun saying load, aim, shoot. And every so often something would happen in this movie and the bullet would collide with the explosives in my brain and just explode it all to hell. And I'm like, what am I watching? this is amazing. And I was sober. I was sober and alone. Like, this is a movie. I mean, watching it in a theater. I mean, it's on Netflix. I don't know if it's playing in any theaters, but the theater experience would be amazing. For sure, bros are going to watch this with their bros and bro out. You can watch this with your girlfriend, I would imagine, and she would appreciate the love story. And it's just a great story in general. But it's like, everything is so over the top in this movie in the best way, and I absolutely loved it. It like instantly became like, oh, this is a classic. This is an instant class. It makes sense that this is like the biggest blockbuster ever in India. Like, it makes complete sense. It is amazing. Amazing. So I highly if you obviously I spoiled moments of it, but if you haven't seen it, watch it. If you have seen it, watch it again. And if you want to see another amazing movie where an adult is riding on the shoulders of another adult and having a very similar visceral emotional response, I would highly recommend checking out Everything Everywhere All at Once. An amazing movie. Different movie, but still, not only all the action, the bromance of it, mind-blowing, but the fact that there were two movies this week where there's adults riding on the shoulders of another adult, and it makes me simultaneously want to cry and cheer and laugh at the same time is amazing. It is like, you can't predict that kind of stuff. So go check it out. RRR. It is currently streaming on Netflix.
New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. And follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.